All right, let's be clear about something right off the bat. Roger Clemens is not the brightest candle on the birthday cake. Surprise, surprise. Long before the infamous George Mitchell report was released in 2007, we suspected that Clemens, a pitcher in his 40s, playing like he was in his 20s, was using steroids. Once the report came out, it just validated those suspicions in all of our minds. We all know that. At that moment, Roger Clemens should have just denied it, walked away, and lived fat and happy. And if you've seen him recently, you'll know I mean fat. But anyway, he didn't want to. He wanted to drag everyone through the mud. Then he had the gall to insist that he be allowed to have his say before Congress. Ladies and gentlemen, they never bothered Roger Clemens until he asked them to. Please understand what I'm saying here. Now we hear after all of this nonsense that Clemens may not even testify at his own trial. And in his defense attorney Rusty Hardin is telling potential jurors his omission from giving testimony shouldn't be a sign of his guilt. Oh, really? So let me get this straight, Mr. Hardin. Your client, who hasn't shut up in 3 years, who's inconvenienced the lives of so many others in an emphatic attempt to prove his innocence, suddenly wants to shut up now? Now that it's literally time to put up or shut up? Man, please. What really ticks me off, though, is that flagrant double standard rearing its head again. I've said this publicly over the airways for years, and I'm going to say it right here, right now, again. Barry Bonds, that's right, him, was never afforded this luxury. And don't give me some nonsense about different investigations, how one was about lying to Congress while the other involved the Balco investigation. Doesn't matter to me one bit. What matters is that Bonds, despite being granted immunity, if he cooperated with investigators, was compelled to give sworn testimony. Bonds wasn't allowed to show up in the nation's capital or anywhere else and say, I'm not here to talk about the past, like Mark McGuire. He wasn't placed in the privileged position of just needing to shut up and no one would bother him like Mr. Roger Clemens. Bonds was forced to open his mouth. Now, do I believe he was lying? You're damn skippy, I do. I wasn't born yesterday. But there's a difference between being forced to speak and compelled to lie, as opposed to choosing to do so because you can. It's amazing, isn't it? No matter how far we've come as a nation, there's still so much further to go. All right. I want to thank Joe Johnson and